Well, we're back out haying. Dad stopped there for a moment, must be having a little problem. And I'm fixing. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, we're back out haying, out in the marsh here. A bit windy outside, so I think I better keep you inside. It's 23rd of August. Had lots of delays and weather-related delays. We've had 4 inches of rain out here about the last 3 weeks, which is great for the grass, for pastures and second cut alfalfa and whatnot, but very difficult for putting up hay, and or at least quality hay. And now that we're in the marsh, you got to reset your brain to where you can go and where you couldn't go. When we were out on 2 there, when I last left you, out there, just kitty corner, you can kind of see those bales. We pretty much could go wherever we wanted with the hay bine and the swather. But now you just go to where the cattails are and that's it. The odd spot you can go through, like here, it's not too bad. Tires are wet, but not too terrible. But if you go nose diving too much, like Dad found out about 3 times, he sunk this here the other day. Just on the other side, he thought he can go through some cattails. That didn't work out so well. He got stuck. We even had old Frankenstein going there for a while. The 5000 with the gas engine in it from the 4000. And he got stuck out there trying to cross some cattails. And he even got stuck with their tractor with the rake. So we even had to put the duals on the other tractor that we use on the baler, because I wasn't going to start getting stuck with the baler. That wouldn't be good. I see Dad stopped over there right now. Where is he? There he is. For some reason he stopped. Maybe he plugged the crimper or something. I just got to the field here because we've been having some issues with this thing. Started off when we were out on 2. There was a code that would come up on here, hydraulic pressure. Hydraulic pressure. Shut the machine down. So, of course we were having weather delays and had to get somebody to come out. Kiwi was able to come out, but he was a few days late. And, of course, it was along the road over there, and somebody decided to help themselves out to some fuel on this machine. Thank you very much. So anyways, got over that little hiccup. And when Kiwi come out to look at it, here ended up being the sensor right there. So he figured that was the problem. We changed it. And it worked good for, 7 hours? Dad was cutting one day with it for 7 hours. All of a sudden she'd shut down again. Code would come up, would shut down. So, phoned up Kiwi. I didn't come out to look because I was busy doing other things or whatever. And Kiwi come out again. Another code was coming up. This time voltage. Oh. It says here it was only putting out 10.8 volts. And you need 14 to run things properly. But yet the battery and the alternator, because he thought, okay, it must be the alternator. No, alternator's fine. Alternator's putting out 14 volts. Battery was putting out 14 volts. So it had to be between there and the dash. So the only thing he did was open this up. Played around with, I think, these relays. Unplugged them, cleaned the terminals off, plugged them back in, and just kind of went through things and see if that was an electrical problem. And all of a sudden, everything's going good again. Okay. Well, I guess he says, I don't know if I fixed it or not, but it's working. And I put in there yesterday. Oh no, Dad put in some hours with it and it was working fine. It would still beep once in a while, he said. So then I got looking on the thing. Yeah, it was throwing up a code here again. And I thought it was hydraulic pressure, but no. It was, and I looked a little bit more. Here it was hydraulic reservoir. And I forgot. We needed to add some oil in it. Okay, that's an easy fix. What else was going on with this thing? Oh yeah, there was a plug on this side that got damaged. While I was trying to figure out that other problem, this somehow got wrapped underneath here because this wire was off these deals. Pulled that off and smashed that thing. Damaged that plug. So that runs your switch for your park brake. So then I couldn't start the machine for a bit. So had to kind of MacGyver this together. Just kind of pulled the plug apart. In fact, it's in the cab. Basically pulled the wires out of the plug and plugged them in manually. There's 3 wires that go in there. So I plugged them in manually and taped it up and called it good. So yeah, there were some phone calls and some headaches and some head scratching and some time wasted and blah 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 blah. So we had it going good there for a few hours yesterday, because what I had to go and do is I go around the sloughs, do the first couple of rounds around everything. That way Dad doesn't get tangled up into the cattails too much and whatnot with the old swather. And then these little areas those little areas I did with the hay bind, and then these bigger areas, like out here, I let Dad do that with the swather. So, anywho, but then there was something else here that was been going on, but it's not as major of a thing, but this Roto screen thing here, it's run on a motor. This quit. So this morning I tore things apart just in case it was just, I thought maybe this was spinning on the shaft, this gear. But this is kind of burnt. I think she's just pooched. You can smell, well, I know you can't smell this, but I know I can smell something electrical that's burnt in there, so got a new one. But I phoned Mazers in Hartney. Well, they didn't have one. They could order one in from Regina, but it would take till, what is it, Wednesday of next week likely to bring it in. But they have one in Shoal Lake. So phoned over to Shoal Lake, and lo and behold, yes they do. I took a picture of it, sent them pictures, even given them serial number of the machine, and Sherry and I jumped in the truck and took a quick trip up to Shoal Lake. Sorry, Doug, I didn't get a chance to, I didn't have time to visit today, so get up there, get my part, and come home. Have lunch and come home. Get this thing back together and get back to the field. So now we're into the process of getting that put back together. So let's get her put together and see if we got her running. Well, got that motor put back on, and there's a chain that runs there to here, of course, and then that turns this thing, the arm that goes around and around, keeps your rad clean. So I plugged it all in and started up the machine. Nothing's moving. Nothing's moving. So okay, better check out the fuses. Well, I looked here, well, there's no fuse that shows for roto screen, so when in doubt, go to the manual. I didn't realize there's another set of fuses right there. And there it says roto screen 5 amp. There was a 30 amp fuse in there. You can see that. It had a 30 amp fuse and it blew that. So obviously that motor was having serious issues. So I guess off I go home because I don't have any fuses with me. Go home and get a fuse. That looks a little better. Didn't even have to go home and get a fuse. All I did, shut this off. All I did, I'll get you down here, robbed the fuse for the lighter. I see the preheat one was gone, missing. That's been robbed at some point in its life, so it's not like I preheat this thing anyways. Should probably put a fuse in there just the same. And I just robbed the lighter because I don't smoke anyways, and there's no lighter. So, figure I'll rob that fuse, put that in its spot. It was a 15 amp fuse. And we have contact. So, get things back together and be back cutting hay, hopefully before 6 o'clock. Well, we're over where Dad's cutting here right now. I thought I'd do a quick clip of here. And if you remember, we put new knife in guards a couple of videos ago. She's cutting real nice. But I had to change this wobble box again. The shaft was, long story short, the shaft is wore down here, which wasn't allowing the arm to sit in there properly, because when you move that, that's supposed to move right away, and it wasn't. There was a lot of slop. So, good thing we had another wobble box kicking around. So at the same time, this belt was kind of pooched on the other. So I robbed the belt off the other header, which matched this. That worked out real well. And then I noticed this little gear right in there. Right there, it was worn. So I thought, well, we'll take that apart while we're at it. The dum-dum here, as he was pulling it off, wasn't pulling it off properly, broke the end of the shaft. So what turned out should have been an extra half an hour fix, turned out to be a day and a half and about $500 worth of parts, because we had to change this shaft, take this shaft off, torch the bearings. There's 3 bearings, torched them all. I ended up putting a new gear on the end there, which drives the canvas. Put a new gear on there while I was at it. So yeah, a lot of freaking fun. I was not a happy camper when I broke that shaft. You didn't want to see me. Those of you that know me could probably figure out how I was acting. So an extra day or so there. So now we got things in place again. So it's laying a nice swath. This is an offset header for those of you that don't remember or new to the channel. This is an offset header. As you see, it's longer on this side than that side. And when we go up and back, you put the narrow sides together, closer together, and with our 14-wheel V-rake, we can put two 24-foots together and have a 48-foot swath. Otherwise, if you had a center delivery header, we would have had to go to a wider rake. So when we bought this, when we bought this swather here, the diesel engine, with the diesel engine, this was still on our old 4000 that had hydrostat issues. So we swapped over the headers just so we can keep this offset business going. So yeah, doing a nice job. Yeah, we leave a little stubble, but I think it pays to leave just a little bit of stubble. Helps for a little bit of snow catch, and it doesn't bear the ground off, especially when it's dry. And with these bigger headers, can't really run unless if you have a flex header, but that's not really doable out here. But so we'll get him going here and show you a little bit, and then we'll carry on with what we're doing. Well, we're at the east end of one here now. Just working along the edge of the sloughs here. Just being careful where I'm going. Tires aren't too wet, so it's safe. When there's water throwing up on the tires, you've got to get the hell out of Dodge. It's kind of hard, guys. Let me put you back down here. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Gotta have two hands, so one on the stick and one on the steering wheel. So anyways, yeah, we just trace along here. Clean hay that's on that side and go with the swather. We'll do 2 rounds with the hay bind. Actually, I might just do all this with the hay bind because it's a small enough area. There's a bit of slough hay here. Should be able to take a chance to come in here a little bit. Lift the header up a little. As you can see, you gotta watch for the cattail fuzz. Plugging up your radiator. Braver than that. Got cattails here. The tires aren't too wet so far. Who knows? I think I can do this right. Tires are getting a little bit wetter. Not bad. I guess I better bring you back in a bit here. I've got a lot of twisting and turning here to do. We got finished at the other end there. I left the haybine out there because there's actually an island over there. I guess you can see those willows right there in the middle of the screen. There's an island there. There's an old creek bed that we have to cross, and I wasn't going to do it tonight because, like I said, it's 8 o'clock at night in case. And the previous owner had dumped a bunch of rock in there years ago, and created what they call a spillway, so they could get across there and get to that island in years like this. So I think we can go through there. There's just a little bit of water in there, and it looks pretty firm. But just in case, we decided to keep the old 44 here. As you can see, we put the duals back on it. This is our baler tractor. And I got the chain there, and we got a tow strap in the back of the truck. Actually, we got to use it more than that thing, but just in case we need extra. So, yeah, we need flotation now when we're baling, especially in some of those low spots, because that baler's 8,800 pounds empty, let alone a bale on it. And good thing we got the big tires on it. And we got this here. We'll probably go tomorrow. We got to go around by 254, go around back to the north side of this half section, travel across a neighbor's half section to get to the northeast corner on the other side of that island that I'm going to finish up what's left to cut, what's worthwhile cutting. And it's actually getting cold. I think right now, today was about 18 degrees Celsius, far cry from 33 or something like that back Tuesday, was it? Something like that. So the weather has changed and it's gotten windier. It feels like the fall winds are blowing. Don't like that idea. So anyways, I guess we'll call that another video. I probably yacked enough today as it was and showed you a little bit. So that's what today has been like, and hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and